Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Brandon Lester Fishing. This is part number 2 of the how to find crappie on a new lake / my complete electronics setup video. I've had a ton of questions about side imaging settings, down imaging settings that I use, Lowrance Active Target settings, which is Lowrance's version of forward-facing sonar. So I wanted to do a video and really get you guys dialed in on how I use all of this technology to help find crappie on a brand new lake that I've never crappie fished before. So that's what this is all about. I decided to break these videos up into a 2-part series because if I would have done just one video, it would have ended up being a 45-minute or hour-long video, and nobody probably would have watched me for that long. I wouldn't want to watch me for that long. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming back for part number 2. Hey, let's go out here, look at my Lowrance Active Target settings, and catch some fish. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Let's talk about, first I want to see if we can catch one. But while I'm up here, I want to talk about my electronic setup that I have on the front of my boat. I've had a lot of questions. A lot of you guys want to know. Obviously, the big thing in crappie fishing the last couple of years is forward-facing sonar, like Live Scope and Lowrance Active Target. Well, like I told you earlier, I'm a Lowrance guy. I use Lowrance Active Target. I'm not here to tell you that one's better than the other one. I like my Lowrance. I feel like I get better target separation than some of the other brands, and I feel like I can see my bait out further than some of the other brands. But use whatever you have confidence in, guys. That's what I tell people. If you're confident with your whatever brand you have, that's fine. The purpose of this video is just to show you how I use mine, and how I catch fish with it. So right here, I've got the same setup basically that I have at the console. I've got 2 Lowrance HDS 12 lives. Well, the one at the bottom, this is how I normally keep mine all the time. The one right here at the bottom, I've got it on map and 2D sonar. That's directly below my trolling motor. That's just, I basically use that as a point of reference for depth. And I want to show you guys a pretty cool little trick right here. You can see the waypoint right here that I dropped earlier. All right, if I want to know how far I am away from that waypoint, all I have to do is just click it, and right here it'll show me I'm 63 feet away from where I dropped that waypoint. All right, I've got my Lowrance Active Targets set out to 60 feet, so I can basically, I can pretty much see that school of fish. You see those fish sitting right there all the way out 50 and 60 feet. You can see those fish pretty clearly sitting in that tree. And there's a school of crappie right there, just kind of suspended, hanging out right in there too. There's some right there in that tree also. See those are crappie right there, most definitely, no doubt. You see how big the balls are. Those are definitely crappie. So I'm gonna get a rod right here. I'm gonna get rigged up. I'm gonna put the chesty on, and we're gonna see if we can catch one right quick. One right there. Not a very big one, but he was right. Hang on, I'll show you guys where he was at. He was right there in that tree. You can see those fish in that tree, and those are holding tight. But there's definitely some in there. You see a couple right here. That's where he came from. Oh, he's got some buddies. Look at them right there. They're down about 10 feet. Let's see if I can stay put long enough. But y'all can, all right, here goes my jig. See my jig going down right there. I'm gonna try to stay out of the way here. There's a couple following it down. All right, it's down to them. Well, there's one chasing it. Here he comes. Chased it out, but they didn't eat it. feels like a big one here. That is a good one. Big old black nose. Right there in that standing timber that I marked just a few minutes ago. Well, that's a pretty fish. Let me show y'all the school of fish he was in out here. There they are, right? Right there, suspended in the top of that tree. That's where he was. Let's get back in there and get another one. There he is. Another nice one. I saw that fish coming. He came from 6 or 7 feet away. Ate that jig. It's a pretty one. Pretty good fish right there. It's funny over here on this lake, it's like they're either little bitty ones or they're nice 12 and a half, 13 inches. Good fish right there. Just suspended in the top of that tree. Alright guys, I got a pretty good school of fish right here in this tree. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom this forward range in a little bit so you guys can see it better. It's the same with side scan on this forward facing sonar. The closer the closer that forward range is, the better the detail you're going to be able to see. So if I'm fishing out on a real vast flat that there's not much there and the fish don't have many places to hide, then sometimes I'll run it on out there to 100 feet. But if I'm fishing, you know, crappie fishing, and I know this tree's right here 30 to 40 feet in front of me, then I'll dial it on in there closer. And you can see these fish sitting, I mean, they're sitting about 4 to 8 feet deep right in there. So I'm gonna pitch my jig in there, see if we can get one of them to bite. Oh, there he is. Good one too. Yep, it's a nice one. I could tell by how big those dots were on Active Target that was a pretty nice fish. All of them, I'm gonna say, are probably about that same size. It's a nice one. I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. What's really cool about that Active Target too, or any forward facing sonar, is that you can see those fish's reaction when you catch one of them. See, they're all still sitting right in there in the same spot. So I'm gonna go right back in there in the same spot. Let it sink about 4 to 6 seconds. Just slowly reel it through there. There he is. Oh wow, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, not a great big one, but he's a little bit bigger than the last one. Come here, boy. That's a nice fish right there too. They're just sitting right up in the top of that tree. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, it's hard to say, but judging by what I'm seeing on Active Target, I'm gonna say there's probably at least 20 or 30 of them in there. There he is. That feels like a good one. I think this is a big crappie here. Well, he's just mean. I mean, he's a good one, don't get me wrong, but he's not as big as I thought he was. Big broad one. Come here, boy. He's a nice one. Gosh. That is a good fish right there. Right on the back side of that bridge column. I had cast parallel to it. Let it sink about 7 seconds. I got him. Pretty fish. See if we can do that again. Another slabber. Well, these ones on this bridge are big ones. That big son of a gun. Big, thick, black nose. That's a pretty one. I can't remember if I showed you guys my settings and stuff on Active Target yet, so I'm going to go through it one more time. I pretty much keep my down range. There's a fish swimming through a tree right there. I pretty much keep my down range on 20 feet. Now, if I was fishing for some super deep fish, I would change that. I'd take it down to 30 feet. But I like to manually change this down range, and like I said, most of the time I keep it on 20 feet. Here comes some fish right here. See those fish in the top of that tree? I'm gonna hit spot lock right here. All right, so down range on 20 feet for the most part. If you're fishing 30 feet, take it on down to 30 feet. If you're on a super deep lake or a place where crappie get deeper, here's your forward range right here. Like I was saying earlier, zoom it in there close. If you want really, really good detail, zoom it on out there further away, even out to 100, 120 feet. I mean, if you're bass fishing, sometimes I take that thing on out to 100 feet. Just depends on the situation. All right, contrast, I vary it anywhere from about 82 to about 92, 93, somewhere right in there. Right now, I'm on 85%. So just play around with it, find what works best for you. Noise rejection, I want that on low. Let's go to more options. Palette 3 is the one that I like. Palette 1 is a cool palette. Palette 6 is a cool palette. Palette 5 is a really cool palette. And if it's really, really dark, like for night fishing, I do some night fishing for bass in the summer. I put it on that black and white, palette number 4, man. You can really see them really good at night with that. I'm on palette 3 right now. That's just what I like. Use whatever you like. I turn this stable view on. I don't necessarily know. I think it kind of stables out. If you've got waves or something, it kind of stables out, that kind of thing. I don't necessarily like the range grids. I know some people do like range grids. I don't necessarily like them. That's just my personal preference. But those are my settings. That's what I run on Active Target. There's a good one. That's a slabber. Yes, sir. Ah, come here, boy. Come here. Got him. Golly. That's a big one there, guys. I'm gonna say that one right there is probably real close to 2 pounds. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I don't want to tell y'all a tall tale. I know this camera can be deceiving, so I'm gonna weigh this sucker. Cause I'm just curious what he weighs. Zero the scales out. I'm gonna say he's real close to 2 pounds, I bet. No, he's way over 2 pounds. 236. Y'all see that? 236 over 2 1/4. That's a dang. That's a sure enough slab right there, buddy. When they get over 2 pounds, that's a big old crappie. Gosh, what a pretty fish. I mean, he's almost as wide as my hand is. Let's let him go. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap it up for today, man. I hope that you guys learned a little something today about, number one, my electronic setup. I've had a ton of questions about that. You know, so I really, that was the goal of the video today. I don't know how much actual fishing I'll show, but I caught some really nice fish today. Caught them really good. Matter of fact, right there before I came in, I found a place and I left them biting every cast, but I've got to get home. With that being said, to me, the most important thing, if you can only, just say you can only afford 1 graph or maybe 2 graphs, side imaging is a big deal. Out of forward facing sonar, down scan, if you gave me a choice between the 3 of them, I would say side imaging is most definitely the most important. You can break down water quickly with it, and those schools of crappie, they cannot hide from that side imaging. So keep that in mind. Hey, good luck on the water, guys. I hope you learned something today. Check back next time. I'll see you next time right here. Brandon Lester Fishing.